しいだろ。お前らのセンスに合わせて名付けるとしたらロゼ。そう、スーパーサイヤ人ロゼ。
Okay. Hello, mortals. It is I, your beautiful story dog, Goku Black here, back with Evan. You read the title. You know what you got yourself into. You're here with Evan and I. Shit's about to get weird.
I was attempting to snap a piece of celery. My own introduction. That didn't work.
Glorious. I need to fucking adjust the volume really quickly. Okay, there we go.
Let me read.
I've got a fucking chicken sandwich next to me. A chicken sandwich and a brownie.
A lot of vegetables.
Nice. But, today, if you finish this video, you're going to make your friends question why they hang out with you and what is wrong with you, because we will be doing a contest of who can name the most random facts.
Yeah.
So, I hope you're ready to make your family and friends question what the ever-living fuck is wrong with you.
I mean, don't you already do that?
Well, the 5 people watching this video. I already make people do that! Alright, do you want to start or should I?
You can start.
Alright! First off, a woman made I believe it was her friend, into a diamond after she died. Oh, the rules, here are the rules. 1 point for each. It doesn't matter if either of us know it, so long as it is known. They, of course, cannot be repeated.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's about it.
When people first found, like, in the Arctic, when they first found penguins, they classified them as fish.
You're kidding.
Not.
Why am I not surprised? Okay. Let's see, what's a fucking good one? Someone faked his death to figure out how many people would show at his funeral, but only his mom showed.
That's pretty based. Let's be real.
That's a mood.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay. I think I've said this fact a lot, but there was a mercenary, a German mercenary, during I think the late 16th century and early 17th century.
Yeah, it's so long as it's understood. It doesn't matter if you forget the name or specific date.
He was known as Goths of the Iron Hand, and he legit lost his hand to a cannon or something, and he legit had a metal prosthesis hand. He had 2, but his second one was able to write with a quill, and he at one point got a summon from the Pope. He told the Pope, and he said to the messenger, tell the Pope he can lick my ass.
Ah! Big dick move!
Yeah, he also he told the Pope he basically told the Pope in he told the Pope arguably one of the biggest religious figureheads to basically kiss his ass.
That's
Dude was a Chad.
Yeah. Copernicus actually dedicated the original book of the heliocentric model to the Pope.
That makes sense.
For those of you who don't know, the heliocentric model is the one where the sun is the middle of the solar system.
Yeah, it was the one that Galileo tried to convince people was correct, and only I think several centuries after.
Yeah,
Copernicus. It wasn't until recently. So when he was Galileo, once he like told basically everyone that the Earth revolved around the sun, he was excommunicated from the church, which basically meant he was no longer considered.
Yeah, wasn't it the same with like Copernicus?
I think so.
Yeah, wasn't he like crucified? Yeah, because Copernicus was like the first one to discover it, right?
Yeah, he was the first one to like.
And then he fucking dedicated his book about it to the Pope, and the Pope was like, alright, sure. Now, how the hell did Jesus turn water to wine?
But what makes it interesting, at least to me, is it actually wasn't until recently that they basically undid the excommunication of Galileo. Because, like, I think they said something about it was a time of ignorance.
I'm gonna count that as your random fact. I'm gonna count that next part as your random fact.
Okay, you can go ahead. So your turn again.
How the hell do you know this?
Oh no, I just know a lot of random shit.
Fair enough. Let's see. Red eyes are created by blood pouring into them. Like, red, the color of the eyes being red. It's an actual color possibility. And I think it's some, like, blood vessels or something proper. It's something to do with the pigment of the eye and having blood in it, basically.
Cornflakes were originally designed to prevent homosexuality.
Cornflakes? That's spectacular. Chainsaws were originally used to help people give birth.
Okay, I did not know that.
This is an actual thing!
Okay.
You can look that up if you want. I am not kidding.
So, no doubt you know Leonardo Da Vinci.
Ah, yes. Isn't he the main villain of Lupin?
Yeah, he's the main villain of one of Lupin the Third.
Those of you who don't get that, watch Lupin Part 5. It's glorious.
But
no, it's Part 4. Part 4.
But he was considered like the ultimate Renaissance man, which was a term that basically meant like he studied every form of art. He was
like the biggest big dick.
Yeah. But what's funny to me is he also like was an early pioneer into modern anatomy. And he did it in a very funny way, and not funny, quote unquote funny, because after women would have like stillborn babies, he'd legit ask them, "Hey, could I have this baby?"
Jesus Christ!
He'd use that as like a basis to like make art of art of like what he thought the womb was like and what he thought basically birth or something. So yeah.
Okay. Lord Beerus from Dragon Ball Super was originally meant to be a lizard.
Yeah. Okay. There was a tank that Russia introduced, and when it was introduced, it was said that it had an ability to lock on targets, and as soon as they turned it on, it immediately turned to the crowd. So like
that is amazing.
Yeah.
The American Nuclear Launch System code was 8 zeros.
And that doesn't surprise me, actually.
Yeah, and the fucking reason for it was because they said if there was a crisis at hand, we couldn't have people scourging to put the password in, so they're just like, fuck it, 8 zeros. Who gives a shit?
What do you think? Oh. Okay. So. I'm okay. There are like several facts that I want to say, but there's some that I'm just trying to think about because okay. So Okay, this is gonna be completely like, just me being me. But a thing that the Star Wars sequel trilogy often prided itself on was the fact that it would go back to like how the original Star Wars trilogy did things, which was by like using more practical effects, by like using practical makeup and like creature effects. Because the prequels, that was kind of a complaint that people had with the prequel trilogy. Ironically, they actually used more visual effects for the planets that were in it. The amount of visual effects that were used in the prequel trilogy was like 1930. The amount in the sequel trilogy was like 2270.
Huh.
I find this funny because everyone complained about the prequels having having too much CGI. Yet the sequels have more.
Oh no.
Yeah. Anyway, go.
Columbus thought the Earth was a pear.
He should have known that it's actually just the shape of a massive raptor.
No, he actually... Okay, so what happened was, the spice trade was, like, getting really bad. So it was like, look, the Earth is a fucking pear, and I can prove it. Just give me money. So they fucking eventually was like, fuck it, this dumbass can finally die, and if he's right, who gives a shit?
Basically.
Because everyone, like, already knew the Earth was a globe. He was just completely insistent that it was a fucking pear. And the discovery of America was by complete accident. They thought it was Africa.
Actually, they thought it was India.
Same thing. Close enough. Close enough.
Columbus died thinking he had found India. No one ever corrected him.
I will count that as yours because I can vouch that is also incredibly true.
Yeah, he thought that he had found India. Like, he died like, man, I'm so glad I found India.
Pizza was invented in 997 AD.
No. Sounds about right. Okay. Okay. So, I'm sure you know the book Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
Arguably one of the biggest inspirations for how people view, like, modern hell. What's interesting is in one of the layers of hell, in that book, he had, as one of the people, like, dead in hell, the Islamic prophet Muhammad.
Really?
Yes, he had the prophet Muhammad, what is viewed by, the people, by people of Islam as God's last and greatest prophet in hell.
Spectacular.
I think it was on, like, the 6th layer or something. I don't recall.
Let's see. That's a good one. There was a supernova that was visible for almost 2 years, I believe.
It's pretty cool.
It was... it was a long time ago, I don't remember.
I'm trying to think of a good one. There is... Okay. In a small, like... I don't remember the name of... It's like a village or country by a river in Africa. And that has, like, no real semblance on, like... what, like, they don't even know, like, what cars are. But apparently there lives a creature there that closely resembles what a brachiosaurus looks like. Supposedly. We don't know if that's 100% true. So, return.
The sports team, I don't remember if it's soccer or whatever, Jersey Devils was actually named after the Jersey Devil myth.
Yeah, the Jersey Devil is an interesting myth. Which technically, I think it's a cryptid now, but
yeah, I think it's the same thing. They're basically the same thing.
Speaking of cryptids, West Virginia has, to my knowledge, the most amount of cryptids.
I'll count that as yours. We will be fact-checking all of these during editing. We will fact-check all of these during editing, see if any of us are wrong or anything.
Because we have...
we don't want to do it during the video. That'd take way too long.
There's, of course, famously, the Mothman. There's the Grafton Monster. And there was the Flatwood Monster. And there's Wendigos. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's one other, but I can't think of it at the moment. Yeah. So, anyway.
Alright. Let's see. What's a good one? That's a fucking good one. There was someone who had a near-death experience, which are basic things. It's kind of what everyone thinks. Seeing deceased loved ones, seeing your body from outside position, which is an actual thing. They claimed that they were brought back. They're one of the people who were, of course, brought back. And claimed Kim Jong-un, or not Kim Jong-un, Kim Jong-il, I believe, was at the same hospital he was. Or died at the same hospital he was at.
Really?
It was one of the leaders of North Korea. It's one of the leaders of North Korea. He dealt with this, I forget his name, but I think he had like a heart attack or something. He had the near-death experience. He came back, and then I'll go over what happened with the next fact for me. It's another death fact, so yay.
Okay.
He claimed Kim Jong-il, I think it was. Was that this? Died.
There's Kim Jong-sun, then Kim Jong-il, then Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, I think it's Kim Jong-il. Alright, here we go.
Okay. So the first word in the Christian Bible is a mistranslation.
Really? What is it?
Yeah, the first word, as we currently read it, is in the beginning. God created in the heaven and the earth. It's actually supposed to be in a beginning. Which kind of changes a lot of the meaning of it.
That can make a completely different thing, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
There is a special disorder that can happen to those in general, but specifically those that have near-death experiences, where they don't believe they're alive. And they will either deny existence of certain body parts or the entirety of themselves. And one of these people was a woman who was like, "Oh yeah, I'm hollow on the inside." And she starved to death because she thought she didn't need to eat because of it.
That's a food.
Imagine fucking starving yourself to death to prove a point and failing.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know, seems pretty base to me. Okay. There was, during the First World War, during the first Christmas of that World War, both sides in like a trench conflict, set aside their differences for a day for Christmas and just, sort of hung out.
I think I heard this.
Yeah, they hung out for a day. You know, they stopped fighting, and they just had fun for a day. Celebrate, you know, the joy of Christmas. Then at the next day, it was back to trench warfare.
Yeah, I think I did hear about this in history. One of the few times I paid attention.
Kind of a very grim thought. 1 second you're just hanging out with this dude, hearing his life story. The next you're firing at them with a fucking M1 Garand.
The quote, "One small step for man and a giant," whatever it was, is actually a misquote. It's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind.
No, makes sense.
Yeah.
Considering that, you know, for Pym, he was the first human to ever land on the moon.
One small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. Because it's just kind of repetitive if you say, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Okay. How do I best? Okay, so I don't know how familiar you are with the occult.
Not too familiar.
Yeah, I know. You base your stuff on, you know, science and reason, and mine is based on, mystic shit.
Yeah, I know my fair share of mystic shit.
But, so there was this guy in, like, the early 20th century called Aleister Crowley, and to say that he's not an influence on the modern day, like, occult, like, stuff, and is an understatement. But, he eventually wrote a book called, like, The Magics, which is, you know, magic, but then with a K at the end. It's like magic, but then after the C there's a K, and then an S.
Fun.
And basically it explained his whole belief system, and it was basically the whole idea of hedonism. Which is basically do what you want, like, regardless of other people. Apparently, towards the end of his life, he changed his own outlook on, like, the world itself. And he died, I think in like, a small town in Italy with a wife and a kid.
Nice.
Yeah, but his house was eventually purchased by the guitarist of the 70s rock band Led Zeppelin, and mysteriously in the year 1980, they had a party there, and their drummer died of mysterious circumstances.
Fun. Okay.
Many people think that more than likely that Crowley's home was used for, like, summoning demons. So,
I mean, that's completely understandable.
yeah. Okay, anyway.
Let's see. If you eat enough bananas, you can die. You can technically die of radiation poisoning.
Yes. The radiation will kill you.
Because there is a very, very small amount. Like, smaller, I think it's smaller than the amount of cyanide in apple seed, of radiation in potassium. So one of my friends in Ethan's server said, so does that mean you can make a nuclear bomb out of bananas?
Mm-hmm.
Technically, you just need a lot.
The term demon came from the Greek word daemon,
I think I've heard of that.
which the meaning of it is completely different, as a daemon was basically a sort of bridge, like a bridge being between the world of the divine and the world of the mortal.
Alright, here's a little religious one. Kind of religious. Death was not always portrayed in a grim way. As like the Grim Reaper when we think about it. It actually used to be a lot less grim, and it only changed that during the bubonic plague, as it symbolized the hopelessness of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, because the bubonic plague was
It was one of the most devastating diseases in history. Wiped out, Europe was the majority of the population at the time, so...
it's funny that you bring that up, because I was going to say for my next fact, so no doubt you know about, the good old warlord of Mongolia, Genghis Khan.
Wasn't that something funny?
Go ahead.
I was going to do my next fact on him too!
Well, actually, what's interesting is during his, when he conquered China, he was actually really tolerant of different religions.
I think I've heard of that.
He'd want to hear about, the Christian belief, about Buddhist belief, about, I think, Islam belief.
Didn't he have, a temple for him, for everyone to share?
I believe he did, actually.
Yeah, I think I heard that.
I just find that interesting, how a person who, killed, arguably more people than, King Mao Zedong, was so tolerant of religion. Yeah, say your next fact.
It's theorized about, I believe it's 1 out of every 16 people in that area are related to him.
That makes sense. I think that's... apparently... Yeah. The name of an ancient... so, the name of God in, Judaism is considered Yahweh. But during the ancient Canaanite faith, it was considered El. He was their creator deity. Which is why you will see names, Jewish names, that end with El. Joel, or Daniel. Basically, that's a loose word. It means God is something. But that changed with Christianity, is now supposedly God's name was Jehovah, which is technically incorrect, as that was one of the names of Jupiter. whatsoever. So, if you want to break a Jehovah's Witness's faith, just tell them that they're worshiping Jupiter.
That's glorious. Let's see. For those of you who play Don't Starve out there, Don't Starve Together, all of the characters have a W as their first letter in their name. And you might bring up Maxwell, who is my main. Don't worry, I didn't forget about him. His original name was William Carter, so all of them start with W. I highly recommend looking into the Don't Starve lore. It gets really fucking weird.
Oh yeah.
And it fucking starts with a man who was failing as a magician and went into debt.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's usually how it goes. There is a famous German story about a man who sells his... there's a famous German story about a man who sells his soul to the devil for knowledge.
Really?
It is called Faust. If you've ever heard the term, the person made a Faustian deal, or the person made a devil's bargain,
Nope.
is due to that story. That's where the trope of, like, the devil makes deals comes from.
Let's see. Weddings used to be informal affairs. In fact, white was only meant for the extreme rich, along with white sugar. They were basically comparable to a fucking family gathering in importance. Just go to a fucking town, holler at something, hey, we're getting married so we can fuck. They're like, okay.
The Roman military had a specific unit in their army called an Aquilifer, and his only job was to carry the Roman Aquila.
No clue what that is.
Roman Aquila was basically the eagle symbol that they had. Which is really funny how most empires seem to have eagles as their symbol. I don't know why.
There is a place in California where the national bird is a blimp.
Yep.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Speaking of California, there's a place in California called the Hell Hole. And it's for people who like to go into caves and do like spelunking and stuff. But the thing is with it, it will get like, it's like very cramped and small, and like if you have claustrophobia, it's not gonna do good. But there's a point of like no return. And by that point, it just has like a bunch of stuff, a bunch of writing around it that says like enter in like, I think every language.
I have heard of that.
Most people believe that if you go far enough into that hole,
you enter hell.
You will reach hell itself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long fucking time since I've heard of that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Let's see. The reason in the Dragon Ball Z special Bardock, father of Goku, the reason Bardock's vision of him when he was getting hit with the blast was of Goku versus Frieza in his first form, despite the fact that Goku never meets Frieza in his first form on Planet Namek.
Oh, I think
was because Toriyama had not yet revealed Frieza's final form.
Yeah. And it kind of makes sense that he'd only view Frieza in his final form, in his first form, as he's dying, since that was the only form that I think people were accustomed to.
This man can see the fucking future. Who gives a shit? Boom, pada, pada. Boom, pa, pa.
If you saw some random tall, quote unquote tall white alien with a tail, sure, he'd probably recognize it Frieza for the facial features, but he wouldn't recognize it as Frieza by anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of anime things, Poochie's stand, his final form of his stand, was originally going to be called Stairway to Heaven. Instead, it is now called Made in Heaven. Either way, a Rocky got a song reference.
Let's go! Let's see. If I'm not mistaken, it's either they go from one voice to two or two to one. For Merge Lamatsu's voice. Fuck, I'm drawing a blank. Is it okay if I just count it from 2 to 1 or 1 to 2, Evan?
It's either or.
Okay. So, it goes from either one of those to the opposite after Vegito hits them with the final Kamehameha. They change voice ways. I think it's 2 to 1.
The first piece of Dragon Ball media to be released in the West was Dragon Ball GT Final Bout.
Really?
Yeah. And it originally had Steve Bloom as Goku. Which is weird, to hear his voice instead of, Sean Schemmel.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. Let's see. The reason the Frieza fight with Goku was so long was because Toriyama was running. He was running behind on the manga.
There's a little bit of a theory that suggests that every single villain that Toriyama has designed was based loosely off his editors.
Really?
Yeah, I think because Majin Buu, when his first form, he was very pudgy, he was very round, and his editor at the time was quite fat.
Oh no. Imagine fucking your legacy being named after a villain.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. For some reason, be a good boy and put the pot down. I don't know why that popped into my mind. Let's see, that's a fucking good one. There was a game called Dragon Ball Online, I believe, where Demon King Piccolo had 2 more sons.
I actually remember this. It also introduced the character of Cell X, who was a version of Cell that or it was one of the Cell Juniors that had survived or something, and it removed the Saiyan portions of its DNA.
I will count that as yours, because I did not know that in the slightest.
But also introduced Mira and Toa, so...
Fair.
Those are my 3, those are my 2 facts.
God damn it, now I have to add an addition. Okay, let's see. Now I've got to make 2, you bitch. Alright,
Yeah, I'm not even getting into like the cursed facts that I know. Because
Don't worry,
I
neither am I.
Good. Or we're not gonna. We'll make the cursed fact video at a later date.
Oh, no, it's gonna be fun. The Great Barrier Reef will more than likely be gone in 30 years. Because fuck humanity. And since I need to catch up to you, you bastard, on the first trip down to the Challenger Deep, which, for those of you who don't know, is the lowest known point in the oceans, being about 11,000 feet, there was a crack happened on the window. And they had to debate whether to go back up or down, or continue down, and they continued down. And thankfully it went without a hitch.
There was a point where they tagged a shark, and that shark apparently went deeper than like any other creature.
For this.
Like anything. It was apparently attacked and eaten by something that was far larger.
I heard about this.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. A plastic bag was found at the Challenger Deep. That is sad. The most isolated place on Earth cannot escape plastic.
Yeah. Slave ships would often be followed by sharks.
Let's see, there was one that was just in my head. Okay, well, since I'm drawing a blank on that one, Vikings created a primitive form of steel by, it's either using the bones or the blood of their ancestors / pets and stuff, and putting it into their weapon.
Yeah, I think it was the blood.
One of the two.
Okay. Okay. There was once a, okay. I put this lightly.
This is my chan weapon, you don't have to put it lightly.
Yeah, and well, not lightly, but how do I word it correctly? During the French Revolution, the people who eventually came into power after they executed King Louis the XVI, they eventually created a religion called I forgot what it was called, but it was something of the Sun Lord. And basically they worshipped the sun. Which was the first time in a long while that a religion was created that worshipped the sun.
One of the names for the condition where your hair turns white due to stress is Lumi Antoinette syndrome. And the reason because of that is supposedly her hair turned white the night before her execution.
Because of the stress of knowing that she was going to die.
Yeah.
Let's see. The original design for Sasuke was gonna have his hair standing up.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see. Which one I should take? There was a man who survived underwater for 3 days on a single can of Coke.
Really?
What happened was the ship crashed and like sunk, and the ship's crew or cook had like a little air pocket that he could like hide in, and he was just drinking this singular Coke. Well, that's some goddamn good advertising.
Sure.
This man survived for 3 days off a single bottle of Coke.
Oh. Yeah, imagine that it, like, cause, yeah, I mean, yeah, you know. There is, okay. At one point in history during, I can't remember what it was, but at one point in time, there was a thing called an anti-king and an anti-pope.
The hell?
Yeah. I can't recall what it was exactly for, but I just find the idea of it hilarious.
It is kind of funny. See, there's one that I just had in my mind. Why am I drawing a blank on this? I literally just had it in my fucking mind. Oh, right. Water is magnetic.
No, doesn't surprise me, but at the same time it does. Water is technically not native to Earth.
Really?
So, supposedly, what brought water along was a massive meteor that with water, you know, on it. And basically that's kind of what started life. You know, in the primordial soup of Earth.
My favorite soup. Lick it all up! If an scientists theorize if an asteroid hadn't wiped out all the dinosaurs, dinosaur-oids would have evolved. Imagine a velociraptor opening an OnlyFans account.
Imagine, like, just think, just hear me out.
Disturbing.
No, you know, you're walking, you know, it's like, that's like one of those like butterfly effects that like you hear that you like see in like sci-fi of like a what if, and it's just like, oh, you know, like, you know, scientist moves a rock and then fucking, yeah, let's look at the news where fucking raptors are talking about you know, Raptor 9/11. Like, what would their gods be like? Like, what would their would they have different cultures depending on what part of Earth these raptors came from?
Yes.
So,
you see, over here are the white raptors, and over here are the black raptors. The white ones are obviously on top.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So bad.
Yeah. But
so bad.
Yeah, but albino people in Africa are often killed and have their bones used for voodoo.
There's a secret military plan to launch nukes at the moon.
Sorry, what was that?
There was a secret military plan to nuke the moon.
No, you just gotta prevent whatever's inside of it from waking up.
This is a declassified thing. This actually was going to be a thing. Thankfully, it was stopped.
The IRS has a plan to collect taxes after nuclear Armageddon.
What? What?
You know, you get nuked, you know, everyone you know is gone, but you still have to pay taxes.
Why does that not surprise me?
Oh, your turn?
Fuck, it was... fuck. Let me try to remember who it was. 1 minute. Fucking... God damn it, why am I drawing a blank? God damn it! It was one of the founding fathers. Thomas Jefferson. That finally, if I can remember. Thomas Jefferson sent a moose to France. A stuffed moose.
I think. I'm trying to remember, but for a while after World War II, Emperor Hirohito was confined to a bunker under where his palace used to be.
Really?
Yeah, not by force, just by his own will. He lived there.
Canada has the most donut stores per capita.
Yeah, you know, that makes up for the lack of clean water to you know, the indigenous populace. And that's not a joke. They legit, they just do. Did you hear about how Canada treated, you know, fucking Native Americans? Fuck.
Is it worse than America?
About on par, but
Jeez.
I mean, Canada had fucking reform schools, and say they were bad is an understatement.
Alright, I'll count that as yours.
Okay.
Let's see. America is known for having the most guns, with 89 out of every 100 people owning one.
Yep. The only reason I've gone to actually like this country. The only reason to like this country. Guns.
God damn it. I hate these. I hate knowing that. Oh, why?
I take it you don't like guns?
Why does 89 out of every 100 people own them?
As I can.
Fair enough!
So, common thing for Soviet era Russia, whenever they didn't want someone to be remembered, to be known about, they would just erase them from history books. That's what happened with Trotsky, who was, in my opinion, if he led the Soviet Union instead of Stalin, the Soviet Union would have been so much more different.
Really?
Trotsky, Stalin, because Vladimir Lenin was like highly educated. He knew a lot about Marxism, and I think Trotsky was generally in the same mindset. Stalin was a brutal fucking dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go on your fact.
I'm pretty sure you can fact check this. Adam originally had a wife named Lilith.
Yes,
In the original turned into a succubus.
Actually, so Lilith it's now considered an apocryphal tale, and I think it's like Jewish folklore. But when God was creating Adam, he also used the same clay to create a woman. But that woman was basically was domineering and dominant over Adam. Interpret that as you will.
Dummy boy.
Basically. So basically God was like, no, that's not okay. Then banned her from the Garden of Eden. That's kind of where her story stops, and then God ripped out one of Adam's ribs and created Eve.
Wait,
it honestly wasn't much of an improvement.
Yeah, wasn't Eve the one who ate the apple?
Eve was the one who basically convinced Adam to eat the apple.
Oh.
After she was convinced by the serpent, who people think is Satan, but it's up for debate.
Fair enough. Alright, my go, I guess.
Well, actually, I think it's my turn.
Are we gonna count your spiel as one or no?
No. But Stalin, when he received word that one of his sons was captured by German forces, he was offered a deal of his son, and he would receive his son if he gave back. If he gave back like very high-ranking German generals that they captured, and to that Stalin said, "Keep him. He's worthless."
Jeez.
Yeah, the dude was fucking cold. Made Hitler look cuddly.
Right. I mean, hey, we don't know. Maybe Hitler was cuddly with his family. We don't know. Welcome to my channel, the only place we're gonna see where Hitler was cuddly with his family. So terrible. Anyway, if I'm not mistaken, after the Holocaust, when the Jews were saved, they were so shriveled up that they couldn't properly eat food and had to have it like injected into them because they would die if they tried eating it.
Yeah, like they were so Seeing photos,
it's disturbing to think about.
Yeah. There's a surrealist artist called Zdzisław Ksinski, and he was an artist during he was born during like World War One, and he lived through the Depression. And he eventually went on to like after war. He fought in World War. Actually, no, he didn't fight in World War II. Why am I fucking thinking that? But basically, after World War II, he took photos of Holocaust victims. Then later, that would sort of go on to be what his art was like. And
well,
I'm gonna send you a piece of art that I hope you put in your video.
I will.
It's not like, I don't know if it's truly demonetization worthy, but
you think I'm going to get monetized out, and that's funny.
I know, hilarious.
Jesus
one of his
Christ.
pieces.
But
he did a lot of surrealist art anyway.
Yeah. While we're on the topic of the Holocaust, a gas Pokemon was found in the Holocaust Museum. Spawn camping.
Fucking hell.
Spawn camping, Evan.
Spawn camping.
A poison gas Pokemon. Fucking love
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I can't wait. So one of Stalin's sons tried to kill himself, and he failed. And Stalin legit said that he even fails at killing himself.
Jesus Christ!
Stalin is an absolute savage.
Fucking is, my lord. Jesus Christ. There is a whale that communicates at 52 hertz, if I'm not mistaken, which is higher than any other whale.
Really?
It is called the loneliest whale in the world.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, it's basically, let's put it as someone who talks too high-pitched for everyone else to hear, basically.
Oh, that'd be like if someone's talking at like the same range as like a fucking dog whistle.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, and there's only been one found so far.
Shit.
So it might be the only one. It's like being able to talk in a room full of deaf people.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd say it's closer to. That's not the closest I can get it to.
Yeah, that's probably the closest. Potato chips were made in Saratoga. Was it? No, Saratoga. And they were made because a guy was being fucking bitter because a customer was asking for his fries to be thinner.
Really?
Yeah. The reason that potato chips exist is because the chef was so fucking angry that he's like, fine, you want thin fries? Here are thin fries. And they turned out to be a fucking hit.
Oh, that's glorious. A Blockbuster refused to buy Netflix, thinking that it was just going to be a passing fad.
Yeah, that's like a
Small brain, small dick.
that's like that's one of the moments that like that kind of sealed Blockbuster's fate. If they had bought Netflix, have it be like a part of, it's kind of like oh fuck, what was it? It's kind of like, at least to me, how Microsoft never purchased id Software. And the basic thing, id Software was the company that made Doom. Which is funny now because Microsoft just recently bought Bethesda, who owns Doom, or who owns id Software. Either way, in the end, Microsoft ended up buying Doom.
Fun. Let's see. There's one I was gonna say. Yeah, the creator of the polio vaccine never trademarked it.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, I know. Surprising. People used to be able to do good things.
Yeah. It is within perfect legal rights to make a story about okay. It's within perfect legal rights to write a story about Red Riding Hood fighting Thor.
You know this.
It is you cannot copyright divinity. You can't copyright creature divine entities, nor can you copyright fairy tale creatures, folklore characters or creatures.
It's honestly funny.
Your turn.
Let's see. There is an artist who uses polka dots and use medical things as his art, and makes fucking bank.
Yeah.
And I hate that. He literally even pay people to make his art, and then he makes like fucking millions of dollars. It's fucking retarded.
Okay, this is gonna be like one cursed fact I'm gonna say, and there exists an NFT called Adolphis, which are NFTs of Hitler.
That's spectacular. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So, you know.
That's spectacular. What are you talking about?
You know, it exists. Surprisingly, not the worst one out there. Still honestly looks better than the fucking apes.
Fucking Ricky sent me that goddamn, fucking, I'll send it to you. It's fucking, I'll play it in the video too. I'll fucking put it in the editing thing. It's just fucking that one. I love it.
No.
And this right here is a picture of the very thing that made all of the humans die. What? Oh, it's very simple. You see, the humans built these big computers, okay? Mm-hmm. When these computers were given a certain input, the energy used up would actually hurt their f***ing planet.
Well, this input was, like, probably for something important, right? Like,
No, so they could trade JPEGs of monkeys.
you're making this up. No.
No, this picture right here, that's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. It's the actual 4 horsemen. That's what it ended up being. Sure, I'm glad I'm not a human and I'm not gonna die because someone wanted to trade a stupid picture of a f***ing ape. Thank God we're not there.
This killed the human race. L plus ratio. Beerus was designed off of Akira Toriyama's cat. I'm gonna assume you're watching it.
I just finished it, and I did hear what you said. I knew that fact, that he based it off his cat.
Yeah, it was because he fucking had a cat that was, dying. Yeah, and then it was dying, and the fucking managed to survive, and, like, the fucking, veterinarian's like, your cat's a fucking demon.
Yeah, give me a second. I need to mute.
Okay. Alright, mortals, we're back. Alright,
So,
this is your go,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, my go. The mangaka Junji Ito made a manga around his life with his cats and like wife.
Did he really?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called, but it's really funny considering he writes arguably some of the most horrifying like
Oh,
stories
right.
ever.
I think I did hear something about that.
And then he writes a story about, hey, my cat did this.
Meow.
Yeah, like, it's funny because one of his cats apparently has, like, a skull on its, like, as a weird fur pattern.
Let's see. Goku Black is given a danger level of 12 out of 12 on the fucking danger rival scale thing.
Ooh. Damn.
He is a big dick. And if you think about it, he literally ripped through the fabric of dimensions.
The current, the current, artist slash writer for Dragon Ball Super manga, is Toyotaro, and he only became that because I think it was like a contest or something where, basically some people would submit their work, and whoever Toriyama thought was the best to capture his designs, he would pick. And he's also has only one other he also created a fan-made Dragon Ball manga called, I think it was Dragon Ball. I think it was Dragon Ball AF. It may have been New Age.
I think I've heard of AF.
It's one of the two, but it introduced the whole Super Saiyan 5 thing, so you know.
Fun.
So your turn.
Roman soldiers used to get paid in salt because of how much it was worth. And that's where the term salary came from.
Basically, if you got deployed in Carthage, you would have been a fucking millionaire.
Imagine just fucking buying all the salt at the store, going back in time. What can I buy with all of this?
Well, yeah. So that's really funny to me because I'm not sure you know about the Punic Wars.
I've heard of them.
There were 3. The most notable were probably 2 and 3. 2 because it had it had General Hannibal, who I can only describe as an absolute mad lad. The dude legit cut out one of his own eyes, and then tried to storm Rome with elephants.
As you do.
Yeah. And then the second is most famous because they destroyed the capital city of the Punic Empire, Carthage, and when they were done, they salted the lands so that nothing would ever grow there again.
As you do, normally.
Yeah. So that's my fact.
There's a planet with rings so big, if you put it where Saturn is right now, it would be more prominent in the night sky than the moon.
Wow.
Yeah, they're fucking gigantic.
There is... Okay. There are 2 points in the world. So do you know about? So I'm sure you know about the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah. There's actually an equivalent to it in East Asia, and I think it's called the Devil's Triangle. And apparently it's a dead zone where, if they go into that, no one knows what happens.
Well, little fun fact there. The Bermuda Triangle isn't a mystery thing at all. It has as many disappearances as any other thing that size. The only reason that it's given that theory is because of the popular fiction made of it, depicting it as one.
There is... Okay. In the original... Okay, so... There's a film from the 80s called Predator, which has Arnold Schwarzenegger playing
Child
man.
Predator.
No, like
Alien versus Child Predator.
Basically, but that's Alien, but that's Alien versus Predator Requiem. But we don't talk about that film. But the basic in the original version of the film, instead of the Predator looking like as he does like now, he looked like a giant like crawfish.
That is weird to think about.
And they actually have a scene in the movie where you can actually see the outline of this design. However, it is invisible. And also, apparently, the giant crawfish design was played by Sylvester Stallone.
Whereas Tweety from Looney Tunes is a male.
That makes sense.
It's goddamn weird to think about.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There was a fact I knew. Dante's depiction of God, quite weird.
How is it?
So, in Dante wrote like 3 books. There was Inferno, Purgatorio, and then Paradiso. And so in Paradiso, one of the final levels of because basically he goes through the celestial heavens, and he eventually reaches like where God is. God is described as like a book surrounded by like several rings. Which, to say the least, is one of the weirdest depictions of God I think I've ever heard.
Definitely is. Speaking of rings, all gas giants actually have rings.
I think I remember this because I think doesn't like Neptune have, Jupiter have one, but it's like really small, like barely visible.
All of them do.
I know that Uranus has one that's like on its side. The first being in Greek mythology is called Chaos. For fact time.
Let's see. You could put all the planets from here to the from here to the moon and still have space left. Like, all the planets would fit in the distance from the Earth to the moon, and you would still have space left. That just gives a fucking realization of how, like, massive space is.
Let's see.
Or pitiful existence.
Let me think of a funny, well, not funny, but just a fact that I have. Stalin's last name wasn't actually Stalin.
What was it?
It was some long ass like Russian thing. But Stalin was just a name he like made up and took. And basically, it means man of steel.
JFK originally proposed to Khrushchev for a joint expedition to the moon.
Really?
But after JFK was assassinated, here's the thing. Khrushchev's son later revealed that he was like, hey, maybe well, maybe I should slide over there and take him on an offer. But when JFK was testing, he's like, nah, fuck this new guy.
Well, yeah, because Lyndon B. Johnson can go, can suck a cock. Dude got us into Vietnam.
What?
Lyndon B. Johnson is the reason we went to Vietnam.
Spectacular.
I'm counting that as my fact.
Yeah.
I'm running well.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's see. That's a good one. On the Apollo mission, when they were going over the flip book in their thing, they found Playboy magazine porn in the flip book. Because the fucking guys who were setting up were like fucking bored and decided to do it. And I think one of their actual quotes, I'm not 100% sure on this, was, I went over to John and showed him, and I showed him mine and he showed me his.
Don't you love when you're on arguably one of the biggest, most like important moments in like human history? Looking at porn.
Yes! We must now watch porn when we fucking go to a new solar system.
When we head to Mars, just play, when they go to Mars, just get on some, just get on the hub. Just get on the hub.
Get on Hentai Haven! Join a degenerate Discord server! Go on Reddit!
Oh no, we don't go that far.
Fuck off.
Oh, well, at least you didn't say 4chan.
Oh god, no, please!
You want to talk about degeneracy? 4chan.
What about Twitter?
Okay, Twitter.
That's fucking tough.
Here's the interesting thing about Twitter. It's only because of that, due to Tumblr.
What did you say?
Twitter is only the way that it is now due to Tumblr.
Why?
Okay, so I'm sure you know about Tumblr. I'm sure you remember the cringe it provided.
Cringe.
So Tumblr, during I think like its kind of peak, quote unquote, because you can't really peak out of being an endless hole in the ground.
Fair enough.
It decided to do, I think, the mistake that killed it, which is basically ban porn.
It's like what OnlyFans tried to do.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what a lot of people were comparing the OnlyFans thing to. But Tumblr never went back on that decision. So when it did that, every single person who was basically on there and did, went over to Twitter. And also kind of the degenerate fan bases that they had.
Spectacular.
So basically, if you want a point of reference of where, the world went fucking crazy, it's because Tumblr.
Come to the zero fact. On a similar note, there used to be a site called Digger, I believe it was, something like that. And that was the original Reddit, but as soon as they changed their logo, people were like, nah, fuck off with that.
Yeah. So 4chan is an interesting place, to say the least. But there's one story on Chan that is misattributed to a certain internet, quote-unquote celebrity, and that is the story of the jar.
No clue what the fuck that is.
So, no doubt. So, this story is, for some reason, attributed to Chris Chan. which is incorrect. It does kind of fit his MO, especially in light of recent events.
Fun.
Yeah, I don't think you know about the recent events involving
No, but I'm
Christian.
going to assume they're bad.
He was charged with sexual assault of his own mother.
Of course he was.
He's been in jail now since August. So, yeah, that's fun. But basically, the story of the jar is one about a guy who had a figure of something. Basically, he put it in a jar.
No.
You know, yeah. As soon as
No.
you start hearing that, you know the story.
No.
Up.
The My Little
Yeah,
Pony
that's from
cum jar.
4chan.
Do you know what happened to it?
Didn't it like start growing like mold or something, or like it continue, or like it started? I don't. Let me hear the cursed fact about it.
It ended because he left it on the heater, creating an incredibly unholy baptismal fluid. That's disgusting.
Yeah,
Imagine.
I guess we should call this the cursed section of the video. We run out of boring.
Imagine walking into your fucking son's room and you just see a fucking black.
I would disown him.
A fucking jar with like a black slimy liquid.
I would disown him. I would say, get the fuck out of my house. Take all your shit with you.
Yeah, that's how I feel if any of my child come out as dream sexual or something.
Oh gosh.
That's a video on its own. Let's save that for another video.
Yes, this should count as my fact. I'm just saying one fact because I'm not include. I could go on a whole list of Chris facts. Oh, Christ, that dude is fucking. Okay, your turn.
All right. Let's
We're
see.
now in the cursed section, so you can say whatever you want.
The most amount of skin you can peel off a human body is 30% without killing them.
Yeah, which I think 30%. Like I think
You have to
when
be
you say
very
that,
careful.
it kind of depends on what part of the body.
Oh yeah.
You can't just peel off a dude's face.
Give me your skin, George.
Just like, you know, if a guy ever says you look prettier without makeup, you should tell him you look prettier without skin.
No.
So there was a guy married a Hatsune Miku plush.
There's a guy who married a cockroach, had wet dreams about it, and ate it when it died.
And you, MP, and your audience may wonder why we have such a low opinion of humanity.
I don't think this is such a... I will literally pull this up right now. Man marries... You know? Look at first thing that pulls up when I put man marries, and it's this fucking Hatsune Miku.
Yeah, man marries cockroach.
Fucking, where is it?
Oh my fucking god, you're right.
Yep.
Of course he's fucking Japanese, man.
Your turn, Evan.
Oh, fine. There was someone, and I think, like, Mississippi, married themselves.
More people die a year due to masturbation than shark attacks.
Yeah. Weak.
Weak. You need to go beyond the mortal meat.
If you can't do it at least 5 times a day, you're pathetic.
Exactly. Fucking weaklings.
There was... Okay. Okay, I'm gonna start breaking into my Chris Chan reserves.
I can't. For some reason, I just can't remember this.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I just remember this Onion article where it's like, white teenager tried as black man.
Yep. So Chris has been like sending letters from prison, and in those letters, he is claiming to be Jesus Christ.
Understandable. Have a good day.
And he's claiming that his mother, he, sexually assaulted, is God.
Glorious. Let's see. The Manson family killed a pregnant woman
Yeah.
and her husband.
Yeah, Sharon Tate. Actually, Sharon was pregnant. However, her husband was not there at the time of the murder.
Well, didn't he die to them too, though?
Nope.
So.
Her husband was, what was his name? Fuck.
I only know this because of my fucking
Roman
social...
Polanski. Roman Polanski was the guy. Roman Polanski. Yeah.
I only fucking know this because of sociology class.
I want to talk about a sad dude. Fuck, Roman Polanski is like, I think earns that title.
Really?
The dude was like the only survivor of his family during the Holocaust.
Oh, goody. That's depressing.
And then when he went on to become a director, and after his first big hit movie, which was Rosemary's Baby, which is a very famous horror movie, and I think is considered like it's like preserved for cultural significance. And it's about a woman who is gonna give birth to a baby, and that baby turns out to be like the son of Satan. And after that is when the Manson family murders happened, for him.
Spectacular. I'll count that as your fact. Let's see.
You survive the Holocaust. Your wife and potential child get murdered.
There's a group known as the Brabant Killers, I believe is what they were called, who went on to do a bunch of violent crimes, stealing money and killing people. But here's the thing. It was composed of 3 people. The killer, the giant, and the old man. The survivors told that the money they stole, they just threw away. And the weird thing is they eventually disappeared for like 3 years or something. Went back, killed another 17 people, and then just disappeared again. And haven't been seen since.
Oh, that's kind of how things happen. Some people just do it for the thrill.
I wish murderers were more like back then.
Yeah. So...
There's something so wrong with my channel.
Yeah, this video is like... Wait for this, age restricted.
You think I'm not gonna age restrict this shit? You think any of my videos aren't age restricted?
Oh, just put this on the 4Kids page.
We do need children to learn that a man had wet dreams about cockroach.
Speaking of needing children to learn fast, when Hideaki Anno was like pitched Evangelion and had it for like a early morning slot for like basically children, for like, not quote-unquote children's programming. He said that he wanted the kids to learn fast about, like, the harsh realities of life.
Glorious.
Which I think is fucking amazing.
It is. It is. Speaking on children, the youngest person to ever get pregnant was a girl who was 4, gave pregnant at the age of 5. And it's assumed that the person who got her pregnant was her father. But there was never any proof. Definitive proof. So, yeah, a girl got molested at the age of 4 and gave birth at the age of 5. Sleep well tonight, everyone!
That legit made my fucking eye twitch in anger. Hey, can we just make it a rule that every single person, like, can we just make it a rule? Every single, like, this fucking pedo has to cut their own dick off. If they don't, it will be shot off.
Oh, fucking... So I've done the mistake of scrolling through YouTube Shorts. And, better than TikTok, okay?
Hey, I'm on that. But you're right, it is a complete cesspool.
And, it's this fucking joking channel, and one of the jokes, or things, was... I got back, and my girlfriend was leaving me, packing her bag, and she's like, I'm leaving her. I'm like, why? I was told you're a pedophile. Pedophile? That's a big word for a 12-year-old.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Go. Okay. So, okay. There is a Twitter account that's solely dedicated to counting down the days until a member of the Dream SMP is of legal age.
I'm still disgusted by that.
Yeah. You know, that hasn't stopped people from making, you know,
There was a grown man that made a dream.
art. Quote unquote art, you know, art of them.
There was a grown man who made a dream pacifier.
No, I'm starting to believe in social degeneracy.
We're in it, my friend.
Like, I know that it's like a cliche.
I like how all the facts are just like, oh yeah, this... No, now we're just... Humanity needs to burn. Humanity needs to crash and burn.
This is the first section of the video, where we're just going to state facts that make us lose our faith in humanity. What little we have. Like, I know it's cliche for people to, like, see, like, their current society as less of than what it was in the past, but, like...
Come
I
on.
don't think there's ever been, like...
Maybe like the early 2000s, 2010s. You know,
Early 2000s and 2010s were nice.
You know, when times are simple, politics weren't a complete cesspool, YouTube wasn't owned by a degenerate, Logan Paul and Dream didn't exist.
Like, I think... Well, like... When was it? Well, I think Logan Paul was just on Vine, you know.
Back when Vine... Back when Vine...
It was at least tolerable, you know.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you didn't have to see his fucking face everywhere, and he wasn't challenging people to filming matches. Filming a corpse in a forest. I still love the fact that, you know, Logan, you know, he films a literal corpse in the forest, and, you know, and messes with it, and, you know, what does he get? He gets, oh, you just apologize, slap on the wrist, you know, make a video about, you know, suicide prevention. You know, then Pewds, you know.
Back when the big three, Jacksepticeye,
Then Pewds says the N-word once. Oh, not even on the platform. I think he was on, like, fucking Twitch. And just a complete reformatting of the YouTube landscape. all I gotta say. I already.
Alright, before we go on to a rant, which will be saved for another video, let's continue. Your go.
Oh, my go? Thank you.
Don't
Okay.
worry, we can do that video rant after this.
Okay. How do I best describe this? One point. Okay. There was an entire, group on Tumblr that was dedicated to shipping a character with themselves. As this was called, I shit you not. Just read it out. I don't even.
Once that's... But
It was in relation to a character from the from the movie, The Lorax, and specifically the character of the Once-Ler.
the trees can't be harmed if the Lorax is armed.
Yeah, and they shipped the Once-Ler, like the younger version with the older version.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
You want to know? You want to hear the best cringiest part? Apparently, the voice actor was once in like a Q&A podcast, and he got so many questions about it.
Of course he did.
Gonna take a knife, gonna sever my link to the mortal coil.
There's a girl who dated herself, married herself, cheated on herself, and then blamed it on men.
Like we said, welcome to the part where you lose your faith in humanity.
I might be remembering, that might just be an Onion article. Onion. Oh man.
Either way, the fact that it sounds real is the concerning part.
Nope, this wasn't an Onion article. Alright. Here go, Evan. Please.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm hoping some of these things I remember are just Onion articles, but they're not.
Yeah. So there is. Okay. So, so I'm sure. So, I think I've made a case. I think I once made a So, I don't know if you know about this, but apparently there were things on Tumblr called sexy men.
What?
Apparently these were characters that, people on Tumblr thought were hot, that I think would ship themselves with them.
Of course they were.
You'll find a lot of these facts are about Tumblr, the ultimate cesspool of true degeneracy.
It really is.
I can't wait for... And, but one of these, quote-unquote, one of these sexy men was, a Warhammer 40k character who is currently my my Discord avatar and name, called Conrad Kurz, who I can only describe as the edgiest character to ever exist.
Glorious.
So basically, a person would ship themselves with a guy who literally wore a cape made of skin.
Understandable. Have a good day.
Yeah, very cool, quite.
Let's see, here's what I had. What was that? Oh yeah. There are Gacha Life sex servers.
All I can think about is just this quote from Aqua Team Hunger Force. It's just like, look at him and tell me there's a god.
Yeah. Aliens pointing at our planet. Look at them and tell me there's a god!
Okay. Okay, so I'm not even, okay. There was a dude who apparently made an ad, or, like, apparently did, like, an ad asking if a woman would want to become his pet dog for, like, significant pay.
It's like 6 figures a month, I think.
What?
Was 6 figures a month or a year? One of the two.
Yeah, and so, a woman accepted it because God has abandoned us, and we are left to, muddle through our own sin. Yeah, that fact just always makes me hate humanity. But we have become so obsessed with money and, wealth and such. We are literally willing to degrade ourselves to be considered animals. I think that should personally count as, like, slavery.
People are into that shit, but, there was an Instagram influencer who got pregnant with her stepson's child. And posted a picture proudly stating about it.
You don't understand why I'm laughing.
Is it pain?
No. No. Let's just say I may have spent a little too much time on browsers.
I hate you.
You don't want to see that post now. I'm interested. I'm curious.
No. No, that's bad.
So...
I mean, I don't blame you, but shut up.
If we've already established that, if we've established that all humans are degenerates, and I am a human, but I myself am a degenerate, so...
My keyboard could be used for, ASMR.
Yeah, you listen to his keyboard and tell me there's a god.
I don't think people will be able to tell you there's a god while they're busy orgasming over the sound.
Okay, so okay, now I gotta think of more cursed facts, because, okay. Boy, how do I best describe this, event?
Sorry, I'm helping someone in the 5-9 gaming chat at the same time. For those of you who don't know, I play Dokkan religiously, and if you ever want my help, join the Truths, etc.'s 5-9 gaming Discord, and ask in the Dokkan chat.
There was... Okay. I best describe it. People have made gore porn of Dream.
They've made what?
Gore porn. To give you an idea, they'd be like, draw like Dream literally fucking gutted. His intestines are covering his, you know. No.
Why?
You'd be covering that.
Cum dripping cock. Why am I not
The art of
surprised?
him as a chair.
Why am I not surprised? Let's see.
And here's the thing, Dream has done nothing. Like, no.
He existed. That's a crime on itself.
Here's the thing, I don't hate his content, I think it's bland, I just think his fans are the issue.
Oh no, 100%. But he doesn't do anything with it. Let's see, what's a good one? Make us hate humanity. Trying to think. There's something I could think of. Oh, right. Here's something fun. There was a pedophile site on the dark web that had over 215,000 members before being shut down. Yeah.
I take it you were one of them?
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
You left yourself open for that opportunity. I had to do it.
Go on.
Alright, let me think of a good fact that will make you pressed.
People watching this are gonna need their fucking eyes bleached, or their fucking brain bleached.
There's a woman on TikTok who thinks that the Roman Empire was made up, a falsification.
It's made up of what?
They believe Rome didn't exist.
Of course. There was.
I think it's some type of like their way of justifying it was like Spanish propaganda.
There's another pedophile site on the dark web that, before it was taken down, had either it was over 100 gigabytes or 100 terabytes of child porn, rape, etc.
Yeah. I now see why why God has abandoned humanity.
Alright, your go.
Let's see, what's a cursed fact? So you remember that Twitter account I once talked about how it counts down the days?
What did it do?
No, I told you how it counted out the days until a member yeah. So you remember, obviously. It didn't do anything, but I want to bring up that same YouTuber. He was apparently once stalked by a fan.
There's a YouTuber who was sent blood by their fan.
Doesn't surprise me, actually.
Yo, if I ever get popular enough, I better fucking not catch any of you sending me your blood. I swear to fuck.
I hope that you send. Yeah, here's the thing.
Look, I'm telling you, if you send me your
blood, what he wants you take. He wants you to take a picture of a random corner in your room. Go a little bit to the left, and then take a photo of that, and just send it to him. And on it, just write corner moment.
No, I'm telling you, if any of you fucking send me blood, I'm giving it straight to Evan.
I will thank you for the meal.
I don't know what this bastard will do with it, but he'll do something. So if you want your blood used for some sort of divine ritual, then give it to me and I'll give it to Evan.
If you give it to Jett, I'll use it for something, you know. You expect a few pains in your legs.
Seriously.
Free descent of hair and skin.
I'm serious. If any of you fuckers send me your blood, I'm giving it right to Evan. It's not a joke. It's not a joke, Evan. I will give it to you.
I know. Send him toenail clippings.
Send me that.
Why not? You don't like toenail clippings?
No, I don't. These fucking fact was it? Alright, it was fucking your turn because I responded with, a YouTuber got sent in blood. You fucking go.
Okay. People are, so you know the whole conflict in Ukraine?
Kind of.
People are taking to Vladimir Putin's Instagram, basically telling him in like a fucking cutesy, like ooh kind of way to not fucking start World War III.
Of course.
So I'm gonna type just an example.
Let's see, I'll read it out loud for you mortals, don't worry.
They'd say stuff like that.
I want to invade Ukraine. That just makes you want to fucking nuke them!
Yeah, this
Honestly makes me want to nuke Ukraine.
I think Vladimir Putin, well, on one hand he's pretty based, but on the other hand, I think his opinion on the West is pretty accurate. There is one part I don't agree with, personally, but that's just because I don't really care in regards to it. It was his opinion on transgender people.
That's for.
So your turn to do a fact.
People with epilepsy used to be killed for it.
What is that?
What I have, where you have a seizure. So if I was born a long time ago, I would be killed for my epilepsy.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, I think if you were also born a long time ago, you would have been killed for your hair color.
You know what? Fair enough.
Yeah, because they thought fucking, oh, you have red hair, you must worship Satan.
I don't worship anything. I worship the great meteor that's gonna strike us.
Yes, you're a fellow Nibiru enjoyer. So, okay, it's funny, but at the same time not. So Vladimir Putin's opinion on transgender people is that, like, the West, he says something like, the West has given people the freedom to change their own gender, and he thinks it should be a war crime. I don't give a shit on the matter, do whatever the hell you want, we're all gonna die, so...
I want to be a girl! You are now a war criminal. Be gone!
Speaking of war crimes, did you know that shotguns are considered war crime weaponry?
You're kidding. Why?
Or flamethrowers.
Flamethrowers, I knew.
It's considered that because during World War I, they were used in, like, trenches.
By
the Americans, and, you know, it's a large spread, small space. Do the math.
Fair enough. Okay. So that gives you 2 points. Now I have to do 2. Fuck you. Let's see. What are some ones that will make you give up hope in humanity?
I'm sure you can find some.
Let me think here. I'm sure I could think of something. Okay, well, for those Omari players, I think the most amount of porn categories on Omari I've seen, because I got bored one night and looked it up, is Arbery and Kel BDSM.
I don't understand what any of that means, but...
Okay, so you see my character on Discord?
Yeah.
Imagine that character being domed by another pink-haired teenager.
I see. So what a majority of the internet wants.
And for my second fact, Ricky was oh so gracious to tell me this. There's someone, this is another Omari one. There is someone who puts giant tits on the child version of Arbery and set it as their Discord profile.
Now, it ultimately comes down to, was this person trolling? Or were they not?
I don't think they were. And even then, why would you put massive tits on here? I'll show you what the character looks like.
Let me see what the character looks like. You know, I don't need a...
No, I'm not fucking... I don't want the fucking... I don't want the FBI looking fucking for my address. But, I don't fucking want my, thing, or the FBI looking for my address, but,
I already know your IP address, bro.
imagine giant tits on this child.
Oh. I hate that. I hate that a lot.
Yeah.
Let's see. What other fact do I have?
And then, for the one before that, imagine,
You already said your profile pic getting...
oh, I know, but by this.
what a majority of the internet wants.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's be real. We're all degenerates.
We really are.
A sort of... Okay. Let me think of a
We need a
fact that
bunch
would
of
be-
people asking if I got off to it. No, I didn't. I got bored.
Let's see. Let me think of a good one. I think I now understand the hate of why people... Oh boy, this is okay. I'm gonna save my last fact till the end.
Is there gonna be an end to this?
Oh, we can always find reasons to hate ourselves.
We've been going on for 2 hours. We know a lot of random facts.
Okay, so there are things. So in total, there are technically 4 things that you could be trans of.
Excuse me?
Yeah, so there's transgender, the most easy one. Transracial, which I think should just be considered racism, but which is basically, I think it should be self-explanatory what that is. Basically deciding to take a different race as your own. There's... Oh boy, this one pisses me off. Transabled.
What?
Can you guess what this one is?
I don't want to, but I already know.
People will legit, like, decide that, hey, I don't want to have eyes anymore, and make themselves permanently blind. Or, hey, I feel that I don't need legs, I shouldn't have had them. Let me get rid of them.
Well, here's one Evan and I found out together. There's
one more.
What is it?
Trans age.
No. No. Stop it. Stop it. I already know this one. Stop it.
Yeah, I think trans age should just count as should be invalidated.
It should be. That's whatever.
Anyway, your fact. I'll just count that one as one because
Evan and I and Ricky found this together. There's a pride flag for necrophilia, zoophile, and pedophilia.
I've already seen the one for zoo, but the necro one was one I was not expecting. I'm surprised that there's not a big enough movement for it.
I'm glad there's not.
Oh, like, I'm glad there isn't. But with the amount of stuff I've seen online about fucking zoos and peds, I'm genuinely surprised. I have not come across one necro.
Alright, here we go, Evan.
Let's see. Okay. There's a very strange, trying to think of more of like a cursed fact, like a really cursed fact. People decided to cancel Genghis Khan.
How do you cancel Genghis Khan?
I don't know. And you want to know the funny part? I think a
What?
majority of the people who did it were Korean.
Of course.
You know why it's funny? I guarantee you, like, I'm pretty sure, probably some of them probably have some ancestry that they can trace back to him.
Probably the Mongol Empire was huge. Alright. Ready for a fun one?
Okay.
There was a channel on YouTube that was solely dedicated to buying animals and beating them to death. Like, not just chickens and stuff, like cats and dogs, and torturing them to death. And YouTube didn't take it down for a long while. I don't even know if it's still up. It might still be, considering it's a YouTube.
So, let me get this straight. It takes a guy being fucking bitter that his own YouTube channel is, basically didn't work, to basically contact every single ad, like, every single person, every single, like, ad company, like, company that runs ads on YouTube to have anything done about potential pedophiles. But someone beating an animal to death is perfectly okay.
Huh? Perfectly fine. Here, I'll try and...
So let me get this straight. YouTuber says one word in a moment of frustration that, yes, I know, has significant historical, just horrific things, but person can beat animals to death on YouTube.
No, it's not you.
Then there's... okay. I don't know how much more of humanity, how much faith in humanity I still have left by the end of this. Maybe we should finish soon.
Okay, well, here's another fun little, animal one. People will adopt animals just to put them under, like, car tires and stuff to make it seem like they're rescuing them. For clout.
What the fuck? I hate.
Don't want to get out of this cursed phase?
One more fact. I think I now understand why everyone hates furries. This is my last fact, but no. I'm not gonna say I'm not one myself because I don't associate myself with the lowest tier of humanity. You could even call them that. I'm not one of those people who thinks that they should be hunted because I'm not a fucking psychopath. But I think I now understand the disdain for them. I think it's just because of how much, like, sort of a hedonistic style they have. And specifically, they have that sort of cutesiness, and, like, a majority of their art is pornographic in nature.
Of course.
I have seen things.
State your facts. else?
There's a lot of there's quite a bit of scat there. There was quite a bit of age regression. Of course, always got the classics like pedophilia.
What was this to?
Oh, this was still towards the furry art. Oh, I've seen things. My eyes cannot unsee. You don't deserve forgiveness. This is my last fact. I don't think I can go on.
Alright, I'll do one more win this shit and just be done with this cesspool of humanity. And no, we're not gonna leave it on a happy note either. Fuck all humans.
There's no happy note.
Let's see, what's fucking one of the worst ones I can think of? No, that's not too bad, but basically, this isn't the last fact. We're leaving this off on a terrible note. There is a site that was originally, it's been taken down, but it could calculate how much longer you had to live. And it wasn't just, based off this or that. No, it uses medical, details and stuff. And
It's not that cursed. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, no, don't worry, that's not the last one. We're leaving this on. Let's see. Alright. There's a woman who identified as a deer and was granted Twitch admin permissions. And she then later went on to say, I'm just going to drink all your male tears.
If she could identify as a deer, technically that means I can shoot her.
Yep, someone said the exact same thing.
Good. I'm glad we all had the same ideas. And I don't care if she says I'll drink your male tears. I don't identify as male. I identify as a fucking psychopath.
Oh, Mortals, looks like I won this.
Quote unquote won. Quote unquote won.
Who wins this?
Everyone loses. We don't win. We started this video off positive, and now we're just in the. Now we're just here. Why do I still live? Just to suffer?
That's just I hope you all are in as much pain as we are. You can now go make your friends incredibly disappointed in you.
And they already watch you. I'm sure they're already disappointed.
Oh, I'm well aware. Trust me. I don't tell myself to my I don't tell my channel name to my family members either.
Good.
That's like and subscribe, and I'll see all you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.